Things have been going absolutely insane when we're talking about the CS market. Now, obviously, Valve dropped one of the biggest updates we've seen in a long time, but one of the most important things they did is removed 4 active collections from the drop pool. This is the drop you get whenever you get 5,000 XP once a week. They got rid of 4 of them that are extremely crucial for trade-up fillers. They were the only option, especially when we're talking about the train collection, for your light blue fillers, and they have exploded in price. I honestly thought we would probably see maybe a 50 to 100% increase in price. Instead, we've actually seen around 150%, which is absolutely insane for the growth on just a light blue skin. It shows a lot of different things. First up, obviously, people are very in demand for these skins. They know they're discontinued, and they know most likely they're probably going to be ending up great investments, and that's fueling definitely some of this growth. I wouldn't be surprised if we see at least a little bit of a pullback, but more importantly, people are realizing the value of these skins. I think people often fail to remember it takes 9 of these filler skins potentially for you to do just one trade up. That means they are eliminated at a very significant rate. Now, talking about your blue fillers, they have definitely increased in demand. We see about a 15 to 20% increase for the ones that are still actively dropping. This is not too big of a surprise. Even though 4 out of the 6 collections that were used for blue skins are now gone, we still have those 2 collections, so there is going to be some supply, but obviously not as much as we saw previously. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with their exclusive new reward system, with a reward of up to $50 today when you're using code MASTER. They have mastered the skins game, offering one of the largest selections of skins if you're looking to trade out your old ones, one of the best rates in the market if you're trying to sell off instantly, and it's completely safe. And they've got their own buying page, which is offering a massive 40% discount on every single skin they have. So what are you waiting for? Claim your exclusive up to $50 rewards by using code MASTER on SkinSwap. Now, talking about the case market, there's a lot to break down inside this area. First up, I think there's something relatively massive coming. In my next video is going to be focusing in on this, but if we want to look at the prices, we've really been seeing too much strong movement. Obviously, we've seen a lot of stagnation ever since we saw that growth a couple months ago, and honestly, I think this is a really good spot for most of these cases in. Your cheaper rare cases, especially your Prismas and Danger Zones, are still sitting around $1.50. Very solid price point, nothing to complain about there. Instead, we need to focus in on the thing that's been going absolutely nuts right now. That is the case unboxing numbers. We have just reached 35 million in the past month, roughly. I mean, we're right on the edge. That's absolutely insane, considering the fact is cases are the most expensive they have ever been in the history of this game. I want you to realize the massive amount of money that is being spent on cases right now, and they're at the most expensive price point they've ever been. We can see solid unboxing numbers, especially for some of these rare cases. Obviously, active duty and the purchasable are completely dominating this area, but I'm really excited when we see some of these price points that we're seeing for some of these older rare cases as well. $3, $4 is a very solid price, and a lot of people have made a lot of money off these cases, especially with this brand new Fever case coming in. It seems like it's already in strong demand when we look at the unboxing numbers, which is constantly what we expect. Now, some people have asked if the Fever case or the Gallery case is going to go into the drop pool. Has there been any changes? There's been absolutely nothing changed. We still have our 5 active duty cases, and it's going to remain that way most likely for a significant amount of time, in my personal opinion. Just because they threw the Fever case in the Armory, they're probably not going to add another case into the active duty rotation, especially not anytime soon. Months away, if that. Now, talking about our brand new items, the only thing we can really get a solid price point on is going to be those 3 brand new collections. That's because everything else has a 7-day cooldown period, which is expiring right around the time that you're probably going to be watching this video, maybe a day before. But the truth is, those first 2 days are really volatile, and honestly, the prices are not very accurate. Now, talking about our brand new 3 collections, there is a lot of value that's come into the game for absolutely free here. That's because whenever you get these as a drop, you're going to be most likely inclined to sell them, especially in the first couple weeks. People are buying them. That's a lot of free money going into the game. You can see we're starting to see a general trend of this top item, which is actually a pink, not a red, around the $200 to $300. At least that's what it's listed for right now. Significantly more expensive than what we've seen previously with the SG Integral, which is like $50 maximum. This is really good, and as you can see, we're moving through the collections in the background here. There is a very consistent trend among the board. Now, as an investor, this is one of the best things that can happen. That's because people who get these expensive drops don't feel like they really had to earn the money. Therefore, they're much more inclined to spend that money on stupid items inside of the game, maybe opening up cases or doing other things that are going to benefit your investment. It's absolutely perfect, and it's one of the best things that can happen because it really is a free pump to the market without actually having much be done, and you get some brand new content. Now, talking about what's going on for the Armory, we have had some massive changes. Obviously, the Armory got the brand new items in, but other than that, every single thing is actually unprofitable except the Elemental Craft stickers. Those are just barely break even after Steam tax. You're looking at the Overpass collection, 79%, Graphic collection, 76%. Everything has dropped significantly that we had in the previous Armory, and that is obviously because they were pumped up a little bit by investments, and now we're not really seeing strong investment potential with these specifically. If you want to look at the numbers here, obviously they are staying the same. game. So if you do want to make an investment, you do have that option. Talking about everything for the new Armory though, obviously we don't have too much strong numbers, but it's definitely seeming like the Fever case is probably the most demanded case we've seen in recent times. Therefore, it probably is not a terrible area to spend your stars on, because I think the demand for this thing is going to be absolutely insane. People have been waiting forever for these knives, and I don't think they're going to tone down after just a week. The train collection is going to be interesting, but we don't have any numbers just yet. Just remember, obviously, those previous collections started off really expensive and they dropped down quickly. Now, we mentioned it earlier, but these 3 brand new drop collections are extremely valuable. On average, when you get a skin, it's going to be worth around $1. Now, that's obviously very weighted towards the fact that you could get a pink or a purple, and those are extremely expensive, but on average, $1, that's crazy high considering it used to be like 5 or 7 cents for some of these older collections. Now, talking about this right here, that seems like a perfect opportunity to make some profit off of trade-ups, especially with these brand new collections that are going to be rolling in with Train and something for the Fever as well. There's one big mistake: you're gonna have to wait 7 days before you can sell. That makes everything you do pretty much worthless inside of this area. I want to make it very clear that trade-ups might seem profitable right now, but I can nearly guarantee, unless you get lucky with your timing, you're going to be losing money, because people are going to be flooding these skins in the first couple weeks, and it's going to be no profit potential coming at all. Now, talking a little bit more about the current Armory, if you're looking for the best way to go ahead and get stars, deathmatch is going to be your #1 option. Tech Savvy made a video about a specific method if you got a lot of people. Otherwise, just straight up deathmatch is going to be a best option. You're probably going to be able to get a fair amount, and unfortunately, you're not going to be able to get anything super crazy. Now, talking about the best way to spend them, hypothetically, it should be the Fever case. I think the demand for this case is going absolutely insane. We can look at the unboxing numbers. It's going to be very strong. Look at the start of the gallery case. It started off in the first day and a half, it was really expensive. You're not going to be able to capitalize off that now, but afterwards, it was still maybe $1.10, $1.20. That's a fair amount of profit if you're looking to do that. Now, talking about some really important pro news. First up, Monacy has left G2 and is now going over to Falcons. This is a very interesting development, and we're probably going to be seeing some Falcon stickers, which is really good because we don't really have any. Otherwise, the big one for especially market related is going to be Eternal Fire. Look at the stickers. They have gone absolutely insane. Now, you might be wondering what happened to Eternal Fire. They just completely got bought out by Aurora, a team that previously failed to make the major. They just went ahead and bought a roster. So Eternal Fire is completely done. I highly suspect it's never going to return. That's just my personal opinion. And obviously, if we want to look at the capsules they were in, especially Copenhagen related, they are up significantly, 50% overnight. I definitely think it's probably a terrible investment to put your money into this for a number of different reasons. Most importantly being, major stickers are just terrible investments in the current market, but it's an option, especially if you want to get into something that is theoretically now gone. It is a possibility there. Now, what should you be doing right now? The first thing is don't panic and buy something just because it's already gone up in price. I think that's a huge mistake a lot of people tend to make. Otherwise, just watch what's going on. We're going to be getting a lot of price information over the next couple of days over all these brand new skins. That's all I got. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.